Hi, I'm Olivia Clarke, editor of the Chicago Daily Law Bulletin and Chicago Lawyer Magazine, and we're here with Tina Martini and David Susler from the Inside Out column. And this month they're talking about how to learn your practice area and how to be prepared for your clients. How do you conquer an unfamiliar legal issue?
Well, I've been practicing law for 16 years, and during that time I've encountered a lot of different types of legal and business issues with my clients. That being said, sometimes I do get questions that I'm not immediately familiar with the answer and which are outside of my specialty. Given my experience, I will often have an initial gut reaction as to what the proper answer should be. And so I think it's a delicate balance between going with your gut, especially when you've been practicing for a while, and also being really honest with yourself and knowing where those boundaries lie between what you know and what you don't know, particularly when it comes to legal issues. If we're talking about issues that are outside of my specialty area, given that I'm at a global firm with many hundreds of attorneys who have different specialty areas, often the quickest and most cost-effective way for me to get answers to those questions for clients is for me to pick up the phone and talk to somebody who has that specialty. Even when I'm dealing with issues like that, though, where ultimately another partner in my firm may handle the matter, I still like to stay involved in the matter, particularly if I'm the relationship partner for that particular client. Because oftentimes clients feel more comfortable knowing that we as a team are helping them navigate through an issue, and they often like to have me as their high-level advisor, staying involved and trying to help them translate that particular issue into the context of their business, which I often have familiarity with. And it also helps me to continue to learn and grow as a lawyer.
Well, at the outset, I'll ask enough questions to make sure I understand the issue. And then depending on what the matter is, I may do some research on ACC websites, virtual library, maybe on Westlaw. I may put out some questions on one of the ACC listservs and seek feedback from other in-house attorneys. I may on occasion go talk to my GC. I always will draw upon my experience. Even if I haven't dealt with the matter before, the specific issue before, I've likely dealt with something that I can analogize to and draw upon to inform my answer or help me figure out how to go about finding the answer. If it's in an area that's just too complex and I don't have the depth of expertise, I'll go to outside counsel who has that requisite expertise. Now, it's also rare in my work that the issues I deal with are completely, purely legal. They're typically a mix of legal and business. So I may also go talk to the business people in my company and make sure I understand the business aspects of the matter. And this is where really being in-house, I think, is a distinct advantage because I have that ready, direct access to the business folks. So this is, handling issues I've never dealt with before. This, for me, is where the real fun is. This is why I love being an in-house generalist. The ability to confront and conquer new matters I've never dealt with before. Like Tina said, this is how I grow as an attorney. This is how I become a better counselor and advisor to my clients. It keeps the practice fun and interesting and challenging.
So have you ever had to tell a client that you don't know the answer, and how do you deal with something like that?
I have had to tell a client I don't know the answer, and I think there are a couple of scenarios in which that can happen. The client will sometimes ask me within my specialty area, they'll say, can I do this? Or will I get sued if I do that? And depending on the circumstances, those can be very tough questions to answer. I mean, law is a very gray area, and there are oftentimes questions that lawyers get asked to answer that they really cannot reach 100% level of certainty. In my particular area, the question often is something like, can I use this trademark? Does it infringe somebody else? And what is the likelihood that that other company is going to sue me? Very tough to answer 100% with certainty. Sometimes it involves research. Oftentimes in my area, there's a little bit of information gathering we need to do, but ultimately it's a decision you make based on many years of experience, and it gets easier the more experience that you have.
And I'm often faced with situations that I don't necessarily know the answer to, but again, I've developed strong instincts over the course of my career. Similar to what Tina said, I will typically have a gut reaction. I typically have a strong idea of what the answer is or should be. If it's a more esoteric or technically discrete area, like say ERISA, I'll just tell my client, look, I need to consult with an outside counsel who's expert in this area, and I'll get back to you. And there's no problem with that. And I think you made an excellent point that you really can't, and as a lawyer, you really can't give a 100% absolute answer. My job ultimately is to manage risk. And my clients are sophisticated business people. They understand risk is an inherent element of doing business. They're looking to me to give them the confidence to know that our risk is acceptably and appropriately managed.
Now, if you don't have the experience, if you're a new lawyer, how do you gain that knowledge on a particular practice area that you want to pursue?
I think being as open and receptive as possible to learning as much as possible and being a sponge is really important. There are a variety of ways that the learning can take place. First, there's the taking assignments in that particular area, which obviously that's like on-the-job experience. You'll learn as you go. There's also treatises, advance sheets, books, and related periodicals that can help people jumpstart their knowledge. And learning also is about learning about the styles and getting acclimated to not only the attorneys you work with as a new associate, but also the clients that you do work with, and there's a lot of learning that happens along the way. There's also the learning of the business of a law firm, the business of a client, and really understanding how success is defined within the context of the organization you're working for, as well as in the profession. Pro bono cases are a great way, particularly for lawyers and law firms who may otherwise be put into a specialty area right away, to gain experience outside of that practice area.
Another thing is you need to be patient. One thing you cannot rush is experience. So patience is important. Seek the opportunity to watch seasoned practitioners in action. Go watch closing arguments at a trial, attend depositions, sit in on contract negotiations or client meetings with a seasoned practitioner.
Well, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.